Hello, Ecto Sage here on the Sage channel, and I'm back in Medieval Engineers after, well, not playing this game for maybe a year. It's changed a bit. It's actually pretty enjoyable, and I've been playing completely in survival mode to get my head around the new systems they've added, because it actually feels like they've put in a proper survival system. It's not like Space Engineers where you get the feeling there's a lot of basic ideas, but there's no progression, no real struggle for the most part. In this, you get the feeling there's a little bit of struggle, and building actually requires you to look out and find resources, and you feel like you're going after specific things, and there's a progression path. And this building in front of us isn't actually my main base. This is our mine, or at least my first mine. I have two of them, and this one's been pretty much completely depleted. You can see over here to the left, it's a ownership block, and you can pay into it to extend how long you own a block of the map. You can press M, and it'll actually pop up with this. You can double click on it, and it'll show you another little section on I own this section. Unfortunately, it doesn't show you where you are in this section, so it gets very confusing. It just shows your dot in the bottom left corner no matter where you are. But we're in that section now. I've just put a few statues in for the heck of it. And if we go into here, you'll see I dug down the earth a little bit. This actually leads us into our mine here, which unfortunately wasn't quite as big as I had hoped. I was sort of hoping the iron seam we had found here would just keep on going forever and ever, and we'd have a huge, massive mine, but unfortunately we sort of ran out. But I did go ahead and build this whole building around it, because I didn't know if there were going to be wolves in the game or anything like that. There were indeed some random barbarians that would come at us every now and again, so it did help to have some structure around us, but doesn't seem currently like you have to protect yourself from wolves or any wild nature like that. Only the barbarians, and no rain either, unfortunately. But yeah, I did build this whole house up, originally just sort of a simple wall, and I just kept on going, because why not? I even upgraded to a grindstone up here just to put one in, since it was nice and cheap, and ended up with my whole nice little house here just for one little mine. We can go ahead and leave this place now, and I'm going to go ahead and bring us over to our other mine before going to our main base. And to do that, I'm going to do M, right-click to zoom out, click on this larger section here, and this structure here is my other mine, so we're going to click fast travel and then click on this. By the way, my world is completely on default settings. Absolutely everything is on default, so I wanted to get like the vanilla experience. No tweaking anything. That's why I have those ownership things counting down. You can disable those. Of course, if this was a proper server, it would be always counting down even when you're not online, which would be a little bit unfortunate. You add more stuff to that to count it down slower. Well, what I should say is to prevent it from counting down to zero. You add materials or resources to it, which adds more time. There we go. That's a much better way of saying that. By the way, over there, that's the starting place, so I didn't go very far from that. You know, if I right-click, you can see starting place is right there, so I'm not too far away from it. Again, it's really impossible to tell how this map is exactly laid out, because of course it has all these little tiny sections inside a bigger section, but if it always puts you in the bottom left corner, you don't get any idea really where you are in them. Not too well, at least. You can go ahead and when you're placing, you see these green outlines in the distance. That's sort of marking the area that you're building in. But this area seems to be, I'm thinking, marking... Well, maybe it's just this section, but again, it gets really difficult to tell. You can see it cuts that way right over there, so it gets a bit finicky to tell. Maybe it is. Anyway, we're going to open this gate here. It clips through the ground. I'm honestly alright with this, because otherwise I'd have to dig down this whole area here, and you get a ton of stone for digging, which, by the way, 1, 2, 3... hits with a iron axe, and it just puts it in your inventory now. In the past, I think it just threw it on the ground, so it's much cleaner now. We can also go into here, and this is sort of paying the tax. You can see it's 2 days and 13 hours until this one expires, and I can go ahead and add 1 hour with 3 stone there. Pretty simple. And this one, I decided, because I had unlocked the wooden scaffolds and the wooden walls and all that, I'd build this little fort out of wood here. So I got a pretty hefty structure set up here. It's yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it. Quite a bit of it. It's not too complex, and oddly enough, standing on top of these spikes doesn't hurt you, which I guess is probably alright. Otherwise, you'd be trying to get to places, and, well, it just wouldn't work out too well. It does keep the baddies out, though, so it works reasonably well there, and the walkways do work. You can also see I have some of these hard drops there. That's just because I didn't use these slanted things that I should have. Anyway, the mine itself is right here. And if we were to go ahead and drop down into it, you can see we still have some metal down here. I haven't cleared this one out. Originally, this was pretty much all like this metal, and I was just Well, obviously spent an awful lot of time here, and in fact, I can even demonstrate that. I am going to go ahead and have to mine some of this away, because last time I was stuck in here, I had to literally take stones and pile them up to get back out, because my pickaxe broke, and I couldn't mine ourselves out. Let's see. We only have this one pickaxe, so let's be a little bit cautious on this. Can I? Okay, come on, jump. Okay, come on. Do I have enough little twiggies? I do have a lot of twiggies. I could maybe go ahead and just put a little ramp of some sort in here to get us out. 2, 3. That looked like a hit, but it wasn't. Also, you'll see the target reticle changes to indicate if you're actually hitting something or not. So, ta-da. Let's go ahead. There we go. So that should be enough to get us out of here. Cool. I'll actually show you mining this resource, the iron, because of course, like I said, this whole place was full of iron. When it breaks, bottom left, it tells you what you just picked up, which is pretty interesting. It gives us 5 stone and, actually, I think it was just 3 stone, but 3 stone and an iron ore. A little bit disappointed in just how much stone it gives you, because you end up with just oodles of stone. But at the same time, I think it's balanced around the idea that you're going to be taking some of this. Okay, we were able to get out a second ago. There we go. And fall back in like a fool. Again, I should have tried to build stairs, but I remembered that, some of the stairs require more than just the little twiggies. Let's go to here. There we go. And you see you can add this, or, of course, like I just showed a minute ago, pay with this. So you're going to have tons of these that you can pay into it. So I think that's part of the idea why they give you so much stone. Is the idea you're going to be paying your taxes with these. Oh, paying your taxes in a video game. How fun. Remember, you can turn that off, I'm pretty sure. And if an area is not owned, apparently the structures will slowly decay. Anyway, enough of this mine. Let's go ahead and head back to our main base now. Instead of teleporting this time, I'm just going to run. Ta-da! Sage Hill. A large area owned. Again, we've somehow moved from this area to this area. But it's, of course, is showing us in the bottom left, so it's mind-bogglingly confusing. And we'll run around this hill here and take a right. Very slowly. And there's our main base coming into view right here. Now, I originally started this main base assuming it was going to be like Minecraft, where you could just dig straight down and you're going to find all the resources just in little spatters, or I'd hit like probably end up hitting an iron vein and just be able to follow the iron vein for like 100 miles or something. That unfortunately didn't happen, so that's why I ended up having to have those 2 mining sites where I built the stone one and then I built the wooden one. But this is our main base here. It's been built all in just standard survival. And if we go ahead and run through this door, open that up, the doors take forever to open, and hop ourselves in there and close it again, and forever to close. I got some silly windows here because I wasn't sure what I was doing. Little grindstone thing where you can take a wheat, which actually we have a little bit here, but I think it needs 8 wheat. Yeah, 8 wheat straws to make some bread. Or actually, no, it makes flour. Yeah, it makes flour. Then you take it to a little campfire, and you can make that flour into bread. There. Unfortunately, there's no proper stove. This area here used to be just like this, sort of mountainous and green. I took my pickaxe and mined it all down a little bit. Then I took my... I don't have it on me. Let's see if I have it in this chest right here. Where did you go? There you are. Our hand plow and plowed it all. Unfortunately, you cannot just plow terrain like this up here. You can... Are you fracking kidding me? I did this for literally about 20 minutes, and it wasn't working before. Okay, apparently it works now. I was doing this for 20 minutes the other day. Just like, literally, I stood there with the mouse clicked, and like, you can go into press I and then go back, and it'll just keep doing it. I left it like this for 5 minutes, and then when I say 20 minutes, I was running around, like, checking different areas and different levels, and I couldn't do that, so I had to take the pickaxe and mine the whole area down a little bit, and then it would let me change it. That's, I don't know, maybe they just updated that, or maybe it was just broken when I was originally trying it. Either way, ta-da, I guess you can just go ahead and till the ground without having to mine it down a little bit, but I obviously did mine this whole area down here. I was trying to level it, but there's currently no leveling tools, and of course I'd like to maybe, dig this all the way down from that height up there to be level with where we're standing now, and have this really cool flat area where if you walked outside the castle, you'd suddenly have to walk up a flight of stairs just to get to normal ground level. I don't know how to replace dirt on the ground, so if I took away all this dirt and I ended up hitting stone, well, suddenly I'd be stuck with stone down there, and I wouldn't be able to have a nice flat area for dirt to grow stuff in. So, no dice there. I'm just leaving it as is pretty much. Its wobbly self. And for planting crops, I can go ahead and show you that, because I think we have some more, wheat seeds we wanted to plant. I'll just put these in our inventory here. And we can go ahead, and the ground does have to be tilled, so we'll till up some of this ground really quick in our nice little base. I would just tour the base, but since I have been away from this game so long, I'm figuring I'll also just give an update on what seems to have been added to the game in my long absence. Till up a fair amount of this. I mean, I like planting wheat fields. I like farming in games too, so it's one of the reasons I came back to this is because they did add farming, and I figured, okay, it's been a while. It's probably not a glitch fest. Probably be able to level the ground, you know. Damn it. So let's go ahead. I think I had it on Control 7. There we go. Number 5 key to equip our little guy here, which, by the way, unlike Space Ninjas, you can actually click and drag stuff down to your hotbar, which is fantastic. And ta-da, we can plant this stuff. And you usually have to spread it out a little bit, so you can go about and spread it all out. This is going to be tilled enough. It is, yay. And so we could go ahead and just put bunches of them. You see our inventory just ran out of that item. It's gone, and this one's gray. But we have more of them. We could keep planting. That's how you plant. And I've filled this whole area up before. I recently just let it all go. That way it would, you know, I collected the crops as they became full and never re-tilled it and never replanted. Because I just wanted to have a nice big open area here for the time being. And then I'd figure out what crop I wanted to plant. Probably just plant a massive amount of one of them. Or organize it better. Or honestly, I was planning on leveling it, and that's when I found out I couldn't level it all. Where else can we go? Well, this was the start of our base. So you can see we had our bed out here, we had our workshop, we had our upgrade stuff and all this here, and we started working our little ownership thing, which, by the way, if we look, it's going to show us it's not showing us the ownership boundaries now, but there was like an end of this boundary right here and the start of the next one. Like, yeah, see? It just moved us from this one to this one. So if we run back, now we're in this one. So I ended up having to have two of these right next to each other, which is a bit silly, but I don't know. If you're going to break it up like this, I guess it's reasonable. And then I also had this little underground area that I dug out first, which was sort of my first little living area. I stuck some things in here just to hold stuff. And ta-da, I've been slowly expanding it out. Thing is, remember how I said you get so much stone? It ends up actually being a bit of a faff when you're building underground areas, because you get so much stone, you're like, I have to go build something outside to even be worth, you know, otherwise I'm just having to come out here and throw stone on the ground or really quickly click on this thing here and go, hey, you know, all that stone I got on my, take this, and just spam spacebar. Let's not melt those guys down. By the way, I did also build a bunch of other machines. Obviously, there's a research table now. It's a progression path through the game. It's not actually like unfortunately, it's not like a tech tree necessarily, but it does have all these different things, and when you research some of them, it unlocks more of them and adds them here. So you can see I've started out with just the research table and went ahead and moved on to a whole bunch of different things. Carpentry. Round timber. Yeah, when I researched this, it let me then build some of these other things. And I can press I in my inventory, and you can see all this stuff. When you first start, you don't have all this stuff that you can just build from your inventory. And then you build your work table, and then, of course, you got your research table, and you research more stuff off of that, and you build more stuff in your work table. And eventually, you're able to go ahead and build a furnace, and then you'll be able to build one of these little guys here. And, of course, you have to keep researching, and then you'll get your little spinner wheel thing. And I still don't have everything. I plan to keep expanding. Over here is where I'm planning to put more storage rooms, as well as if we press G, it's actually in this screen, I think. Yeah, there it is, the banner workshop, which is kind of confusing. I would expect that to be something you'd build in the workshop, or crafting table, pardon, instead of just building it from your inventory with a G screen thing. What else do we have that I still haven't built? I think there's one other thing, is it here? I still don't have a wardrobe. I still don't have a bed downstairs. I'm still using the one upstairs. I still don't have any of these auto farmer things built. Do have another millstone out there, which I showed you when we first walked in. What else do we have? That's about it. I'm planning on going down deeper and having a big, huge underground cathedral down there, where I'll stick my bed and some other stuff. But that's about it. For this, we could drop this off. Unfortunately, you need 5 ore to build 1 ingot, but I already have some ingots here. I got 12 of them, so you can go ahead and build like metal bars or metal scraps or whatever you call them. What are these? Metal parts. You can build your swords and all this stuff. A lot of this needs wood sticks, which you gather from just outdoors. Oh, and you might notice that these were redded out. Even though clearly I have the ingots there and the stuff here, you have to actually drag these down here, and then you'd be able to build your tools and all of that. Not going to build that now because... Oh, wait, I can actually do one thing here. I have a mace from one of the attacking bastards that tried to kill me. I can go ahead and click on... What is it? Was it here? No, it's in this. And go ahead here and drop the mace off, and then melt that mace down by lighting the fire, crafting the item. Ta-da! Iron ingot, douse fire to save on our resources. So now we have another iron ingot, which I left in here and I didn't actually take out. Dag nabbit. There we go. Ta-da. So now we have 13 iron ingots. So you can melt down tools. And as I was saying, I'm not going to make anything else because I already have 3 spare axes that I've gotten from killing baddies. Another mace, just in case I ever need a mace, which once upon a time I did need a mace to learn one of these upgrade things. Can't remember which. Pretty nifty. Anyway, let's head back up to the surface world, show you the rest of our base. We've gone up that tower and came in here. You know, if you just head up, it goes up to nice little overlook. I'm hoping they add rain and water to this game because, you know, I figured put a roof on it so if you're ever up here, you'll be fine. They did change the way you add some blocks. Unfortunately, they've sort of... Remember compound blocks, the thing that this game originally had that was awesome? Well, they still have them, but some of their items here are... Well, they've screwed up a bit, they have. Like, let's say if I have this opening here and I decide, you know what would be nice? Just to have a door here instead of just an opening. Well, in theory, you'd go ahead and select the door block, which I don't believe exists anymore, because if we just do door, you can see now it's round interior wall with door. It's never just a door on its own, so you can't build the basic shape and then come back and add a door later. You have to add the full block with the door at the same time, which is, well, not the coolest thing ever. It's actually quite infuriating in a lot of ways. I understand why they did it, because sometimes they have doors in very specific places, and if they were to do it the other way, you have to have a door that understood if you're aiming at this to snap to the specific opening. But it does get rather... well, annoying sometimes. And the same thing goes for this, because I went ahead and added this, you know, outcropping around here, and a little bit hard to see. We'll hop down here. Ta-da, you can see it's an outcropping sticking out. Well, and then I figured I'd go ahead and add these standard ledges that they stick around the edge of that. The battlements, I believe is they're called. It turns out they're no longer 2 separate pieces. You can either have this, or you can have this with the battlement attached. You can't actually go ahead and add it later. I thought this was it, a large round battlement. As you can see, I have on my hotbar number 5, but no, this is... a little bit too big, so no luck there. And again, this is just the standard piece we ended up adding. If I can get the show up somewhere. There, stay at the wall. And you can mouse scroll wheel through the 2 of them, but you can't just have the upper piece alone. So that was a little bit annoying. What else do we have? Let's go around this way, because we actually ended up being in a 3rd different zone. Ta-da, you can see Ectosage area. And by the way, these trees, a lot of stuff keeps growing up through the floor sometimes. It's like they don't have some sort of check where it like tries to see if it can see the sky or something. I know it's a circular plant, which might make that more complex, but I'd expect something to just check and see, can I see the sky, or is there enough space for this thing to grow? Yes, okay, I grow. No, I don't grow, but that doesn't happen. But you can see we entered another area here, so I have yet another claim block, which expires a little bit sooner than I would really like. I'll add 40 minutes to it. Woo. But you can see I did a few little build-ins here, and we were obviously under the ground, so we had to dig our way up some. This door actually leads us... we just collected more of those sticks. If you're wondering where you get sticks, you get them off those. This door leads out here. But if we head all the way up, you can see I've mixed match. I don't have the wide stairs here. I just have the small ones like we did at the one fortress there, the wooden mine fortress. A lot of windows. I'm planning to build this up higher. Does have structural integrity still, so it might collapse if I go too high with it. But we can go ahead and head out this way, and you can see these are much wider stairwell here. Heading up across our battlements, our trees, they're very close to our base. And then here's what is actually technically, I'm considering the main entrance to everything. You have a look down here, so we have a big door. Oh no, don't want to die. Let's jump here, it shouldn't be as bad of a fall. There we go. So I have a main door here, sort of through a keep section. Pop that open. Ta-da! Let's tell it to close. Nope, gotta wait for it to be fully open. Now we can tell it to close. Yay. That's a bit annoying, that. Anyway, you can see I even have some nice supports coming down. Sorry, I thought I heard something hitting on a wall or something. There's not a good update for when your base is under attack. Sometimes it'll put a little tiny thing at the top of the screen that'll show you a little sort of 2 swords clashing thing. Sometimes it'll do little X things on these. But I found more often than not, it'll just be, oh look, there's some guy who's been beating on one of the walls for half an hour. Brilliant. Let's go ahead and just harvest some of these things here. Coolio. I don't think enemies will spawn inside the areas you've claimed, which is pretty good, but sometimes it can be a bit finicky. I don't know where this is, because of course the map is so befuddling. Anyway, I do have another stairwell here that I've dug into the mountain. We can climb our way up here. Nice little overlook again, so if enemies were, in theory, brashing down the wall, we could be shooting arrows at them or whatever. Which I have a crossbow in storage, but I never use it. Then we can head all the way up to this level, another outlook over things, which I just thought was pretty nice. and you can jump and then press forward, and you'll move forward a little bit in the air. Unrealistic, but definitely useful, and a great addition to the game. I'm pretty sure they added that to Space Engineers too, but just something they've added to this since I played last, I believe. And here we go to the main castle, which I have not finished yet. You can see I've been working on it off and on. It's got multiple levels. I'm planning on going up at least one more and then putting a roof on this sort of circular section here, where we have our nice outlook on it all. What else do we have? We can go down this stairwell and out this door to just a little outlook here on the grassy knoll, or whatever you wish to call it, overlooking our farm area, which again, I would love to level all of this down to that point, but I don't know if I dig down if I'm going to hit stone, and then I won't be able to till it, so I won't be able to farm it. And of course, leveling it isn't so easy. As you can see, I got all those bumpity bits there. So I'd love to have that all leveled down and then just stone stairs leading to it. What else do we have here? Heading back in. Got down one more floor. You can see I haven't dug all this out, because of course when I start digging this out, I end up with so much stone. It's like, what the hell do I do with it all? And I don't want to be running back down to our bunker or something to be dropping it all off. Also, it's we're not able to swing this anymore. Are you broken? Apparently you're broken, but it's not showing up, so we might be able to recycle it. I guess that would be a good idea to recycle your tools just before they break. That way you get that little tiny bit of 1 ingot back, which is a pretty good idea, actually. I haven't been doing that. Anyway, that's it for this base. You can see it's been building up, and I have some plans to keep building it up a little bit more. We'll have an outcropping and some balconies and stuff there. I think that's everything for my little survival world. Been doing it all on standard speeds. Spectator does work, by the way. Just it's default on as far as I can while I'm on my desktop. Okay, cool. You know, good old hat film stream. I'm probably going to go ahead and watch now while this footage renders. Yeah, that's awesome. Always great when, you know, it's still a Keen Opera House game, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I have had a few derps where it's just killed me before and sent me flying into the air. Anyway, thanks a bunch for watching, guys and gals, and I shall see you all next time. Ta-ta. I just pressed Q, by the way. That's all I did. I pressed Q out of, you know, habit of trying to rotate my screen, and that's when it crashed. So, I don't know. Don't press Q when you're playing, I guess.